Times 2, 4,000 meters, up and down, up and down.
Along with the physical preparation, you have to have the mental preparation. Mentally, it's very, very difficult.
The expedition members will establish a depot or pilot camp across the moraine at the base of the snow line, from where they can strap on their skis and begin their forays up the mountain.
Let's get this single wall tent going here, and we can just leave it right here on the snow, and we can just use it as a depot, and our stuff will be out of the elements.
Although 5 miles away, the depot is equal in altitude as Advanced Base Camp, but is inaccessible by yak. The climbing will be based out of this camp, while rest days will be spent back in ABC.
Okay, good? Go.
High altitudes can affect the most able-bodied climber, regardless of conditioning or training. The team returns to Advanced Base Camp to rest and are quickly reminded of its dangers. A Taiwanese climber is discovered to be suffering from the extreme latter stages of high-altitude sickness. The team finds themselves immersed in a rescue operation. The Americans prepare their Gammo bag, a portable pressure chamber that can lower the altitude of a climber by 3,000 feet instantly.
Keep popping. 6.
Monitoring the situation is a Dutch doctor from a neighboring expedition.
In the 8,000 meter arena, altitude is the main enemy. Altitude can just sneak up on you and it can just slam you. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how experienced you are, and you just never know how it's going to hit you personally.
I got a pulse. How many? Almost like this. High.
High.
Straight and high. Straight and high.
Since the climber was not taken down to a lower altitude sooner, his condition remains highly volatile.
Pulse 55. Pulse 85. Feel it, Doc?
The Taiwanese teammates are at a loss. The climbers exhaust all options in reviving the man.
Sorry.
Although the team did not know the climber, they are all still affected by his death. A somber mood settles over the camp. Although the two groups have complete confidence in one another's abilities, they have not trained together. Their climbing styles are different as well. The Americans are using skis for their forays up and down the mountain, while the Kazakhs climb in a more traditional manner on foot. The Kazakhs have spent their lives climbing the 6,000 and 7,000 meter peaks of the Pamir range. Their experience in the mountains is invaluable to the expedition.
Weather not good. I think tomorrow, see, too much snow, little snow, danger or no danger about avalanche. Мы прорвемся.
Weather is the main factor in success rates in the mountains.
High altitude and its debilitating effects are another factor that concerns the team members. Vadim, the eldest of the group, was the first to show signs of weakening as a chest virus quickly overtook him.
Home, sweet home.
With each new day, the expedition members find themselves once again blessed with good weather. Those feeling strong would continue to push up the mountain.
Max is very strong in the mountains, always up, always ready to go, always willing to carry extra weight. Andre is unbelievably strong. On Peak Lennon, he was carrying 70, 80-pound packs every day. Jim comes from a very similar background as us. We all grew up together, and we're all at approximately the same level because our climbing has advanced together. We've spent the last decade climbing together, and when you're climbing these big mountains, you have to be at the same level as the people you're climbing with. If you're not at the same level, and I'm talking mentally and physically, the gap under extreme conditions is just, it can become huge. Steve, Jim, and I make it a point to always travel roped while we're on a glacier. It's just a commitment to doing it safely. A lot of people don't do that, but in our experience, it's proved to hold us on top of the snow on more than a few occasions. And on a route like Shishpangma, more than a few people have fallen into crevasses to their deaths. So we make it a point to travel rope.
After establishing Camp 1, the Americans reward themselves by making their first powder turns in the Himalayas at 21,000 feet.
Skiing is my first love. I love skiing. I come from a family of ski racers, and so I love the skiing aspect of the mountain lifestyle. But I think when you venture into the big mountains, skiing is a bonus, and you have to have the fundamental mountaineering skills in order to have success in any of the larger mountains.
That is tough. Good day though. First time to altitude. How are you, Vadim? Personal best.
Normal.
Never skied above 19,000 feet.
Yeah?
Skied at 21,000 today.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of us. First time. Above 20,000.
Первый раз скатились.
Our schedule right now is to take a leisurely day to Camp 1, brew up, sleep as well as we can, and make a carry to Camp 2, and just play it day by day, see how we feel. And then take 2 or 3 days off at ABC, get some good food, and go for it from there.
Our approach to climbing these mountains has always been to be self-sufficient. We don't try and rely on oxygen or porters, other people that will help us try and get up with the mountain. We just feel that we need to do it on our own, and we'll get as far as we can. And if we can't do it on our own, then we'll back off.
Easy there.
It makes it a lot more difficult that way, but it's a lot more satisfying.
Hey. I like the switchbacks, eh, Jim?
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Good.
Yeah, easy 8,000 or my ass.
You can't describe the feeling you get when you're standing at the foot of an 8,000 meter peak. It's pretty overwhelming, but gradually, as you touch the mountain and you begin to work the mountain, you learn what the mountain has to offer, and you learn what you're going to be able to get away with and what you're not going to be able to get away with, and everything slowly comes together until you eventually finally either get up the thing or you don't get up the thing.
The two groups would work in unison to better achieve their goals. While the Americans traveled up and stocked camps, the Kazakhs would rest, and vice versa. This would assure that one team was always on the mountain, and the establishing and stocking of the higher camps was executed efficiently. The arduous slogs up and down began to wear on the climbers. Not only is the work physically draining, but constant exposure to sun and wind takes its toll on the team members as well.
Our style for climbing this peak was using a tried and true method of moving high and sleeping low, which aids in the acclimatization process. We ended up putting in 2 high camps, and that whole process took approximately 2 to 3 weeks of slogging up and down, back and forth, moving gear from one spot to the next.
After establishing the higher camps, the climbers returned to Advanced Base Camp for much-needed rest and nutrition. By raising their own funds for the expedition, they supply themselves with only basic necessities such as a kitchen staff.
When you're preparing for a summit bid, it's important that you eat well and hydrate well. We lucked out. Our cook, Kalu, is a chef by trade when he's not out on the trail, and we had some very good meals.
3 weeks into the expedition, the climbers begin to feel the effects of being away too long from home and loved ones.
Climbing in the big mountains with a family at home, there's always that something in the back of your mind where you don't want to push it too hard because you know there's something more important back home. But then you also have to weigh that against what you're trying to accomplish. And I just feel like I'd be letting myself down if I didn't try it.
Hi, Daddy, I love you. They can't at the top of future paper.
A neighboring expedition kindly offers its satellite phone for a comforting call home.
Hello, Mom? Mom, this is Steve. I'm doing great. Everybody's doing great. Everybody's doing great. We're resting right now after setting up those 3 camps, and in a day or two, weather permitting, we're going to go for our first summit attempt.
A meeting is held to determine everyone's status as the reality of making a summit push looms before them.
It's a chest cold, chest and neck cold.
Yes.
And Vadim?
He says he go up after 3-4 days minimum. Okay. About me, I don't know.
Andre and Vadim are not going to depot camp tomorrow. Well, the only other option would be if you two are not healthy enough to go tomorrow, is to have Max go with us to Camp 1. And just tie on to a 4-man rope team. And then that actually simplifies things.